of the tariff hit. The government is considering GST relief for a slew of sectors, including textile and the medical sector. Sources tell us that the centre is also proposing to cut GST on all drugs and medicines from 12 to 5%. The GST Council is set to meet next week, that's on the 3rd and the 4th of September, to take a call. Timsy is standing by with the exclusive details. Timsy, once again, for the benefit of our viewers, this is the centre's proposal. The centre has drawn up the rate rationalisation list of which items should move from which slab to the next. In some cases, there's a higher move, and in some cases, there's a revision to a lower slab. And this, of course, will be ratified by the GST Council. There's a whole long list of items, Timsy. Let's take our viewers through some of the key ones.
Well, yes, as you rightly said, and for the benefit of our viewers, this is the proposal moved by the centre. GST Council meeting on 3rd and 4th of September will have to give an approval, paving way to what PM mentioned, to a two-slab structure, that is 5% and 18%, and a special rate of 40%. Now, some of the items, I'll have to read the list. The centre's proposal is to cut GST on textile products, including synthetic filament yarn, sewing threads, felt to 5% from 12%. There's a proposal to cut GST on textile products, including gimped yarn, metallized yarn, rubber thread, again to 5% from 12%. Textile products, including carpets, gauze, etc., from 12% to 5%. There's a hike proposed in the threshold of ready-made garments, attracting 5% GST, which was currently 1,000 rupees. The government is now proposing to hike it to 2,500 rupees, so making the items which were falling below 2,500 rupees per garment will now become cheaper, whereas earlier it was only garments below 1,000 rupees that were under 5%, and now this threshold has been hiked. However, garments above 2,500 rupees will remain at 18%. Similarly, the threshold has been hiked on footwear. Again, footwear below 2,500 rupees per pair reduced to 5%, and those above 2,500 rupees per pair hiked to 18%. So that is where they were earlier also. But yes, 1,000 rupees was the threshold, so that threshold goes away to 2,500 rupees. Apart from that, when it comes to medicines and drugs, critical care, critical treatment drugs have been exempted completely. That is for rare diseases. Then over 30 cancer drugs have been brought down from current 12% to nil. Also, iodine, potassium iodate brought down from 12% to 5%, gauze, bandages to 5% from 12%, surgical rubber, gloves, diagnostic kits, again proposed to be reduced from 12% to 5%, blood glucose monitoring system, test strips, etc., also proposed to be reduced from 12% to 5%. There is a proposal to cut GST on apparatus used for X-rays, eyeglasses, including goggles, from 12% to 5%. Thermometers, medical instruments proposed to be reduced from 18% to 5%. Instruments and apparatus for surgeries, dental procedures proposed to be reduced from 18% to 5%. Also, when it comes to common use items such as educational material, erasers proposed to nil. Also, maps, atlases, pencil sharpeners, pencil, crayons from 12% to nil. Exercise books from 12% to nil. Mathematical boxes, geometry boxes, color boxes from 12% to 5%. So there's a whole host of lists. If you want to book a hotel stay, which is below 7,500 rupees per night, could now become cheaper. It could come down to 5% with. So there's, even you want to watch a movie, say an admission to a movie theater where price ticket is 100 rupees and less, that is proposed to become cheaper. So whole host of lists. However, IPL tickets could become expensive to 40% with ITC. So let's see what happens when the council meets.
Well, Timsy, we would have taken up the entire show. This would have been India GST hour if we go over that entire rate list. But we will be updating our viewers in installments on the many rate changes that are proposed. Thanks very much for joining us. So a whole host of items there, not just of common use, but across the board, where we could see rate action changes, both in some cases a revision downwards, in some cases a revision upwards. Now, Prime Minister